Think you know the most dangerous animals in the world? Think again. When we imagine peril in the natural world, our minds often conjure images of immense power and ferocity. We picture the bone-crushing jaws of a great white shark, the thunderous charge of a rhinoceros, or the silent, lethal stalk of a tiger through the jungle undergrowth. These are, without question, formidable predators, masters of their domains, and creatures deserving of our profound respect and caution. They are the icons of wild danger, celebrated in stories and documentaries for their raw, untamed strength. But the true nature of danger is often far more subtle, more insidious. It doesn't always roar or charge. Sometimes the greatest threats to human life come in packages so small, so seemingly insignificant, that we barely notice them until it is far too late. The architects of widespread suffering and death can be creatures we could hold in the palm of our hand, or even those we might accidentally crush underfoot. These are the silent assassins of the animal kingdom, whose impact on our world is vastly disproportionate to their size. Join me as we journey across continents and through diverse ecosystems to uncover these hidden threats. The list we have compiled will almost certainly surprise you. We will look beyond the fangs and claws to discover the venom, the parasites, and the diseases carried by some of the planet's smallest inhabitants. Prepare to have your perceptions of danger completely reshaped as we explore the world's most unexpectedly lethal animals. The truth, you will find, is often stranger and more startling than fiction. Our first subject is an animal familiar to almost every single person on Earth. Its high-pitched whine is the soundtrack to countless summer evenings, a minor annoyance that we casually wave away. But this tiny, fragile insect, the mosquito, is responsible for more human deaths than any other animal in history, by an extraordinary margin. It is not its bite that is the weapon, but rather the microscopic cargo it carries within its delicate body. This creature is a master vector, a flying hypodermic needle for some of the world's most devastating diseases. When a female mosquito pierces our skin, she is not just drawing blood to nourish her eggs. She can also be injecting a deadly cocktail of pathogens directly into our bloodstream. Chief among these is the parasite that causes malaria, a disease that has plagued humanity for millennia and continues to claim hundreds of thousands of lives each year, a vast majority of them young children. But the mosquito's arsenal doesn't end there. It is also the primary transmitter of media group, graphic showing mosquito-transmitting diseases, mosquito on infographic with dengue, yellow fever, Zika labels, laboratory vials labeled with disease names and mosquito in background at its stock, distribute _equally, dengue fever, yellow fever, Zika virus, and West Nile virus, each a serious and potentially fatal illness. The sheer scale of the mosquito's impact is difficult to comprehend. While a single lion might kill a handful of people in its lifetime, and a shark attack remains a statistically rare event, the mosquito wages a constant global war against us. Its success lies in its numbers, its adaptability, and its ubiquity. From the humid rainforests of the Amazon to the concrete jungles of our greatest cities, this tiny creature has established itself as the undisputed deadliest animal on the planet, a silent killer whose buzz heralds a far greater danger than we often appreciate. We now travel from the air to the warm tropical waters of the Indo-Pacific. Here, drifting with the currents, is a creature of ethereal, almost alien beauty. It is the box jellyfish, and it looks more like a translucent, pulsing bell than a lethal predator. With its gelatinous body and trailing tentacles that can stretch up to 3 meters long, it appears fragile, almost insubstantial. But do not be deceived by its delicate appearance. This ghostly apparition is armed with one of the most potent and fast-acting venoms in the entire animal kingdom. Each of its long, trailing tentacles is covered in millions of microscopic stinging cells called cnidocytes. These are like tiny, spring-loaded harpoons, each containing a dart filled with poison. The slightest touch from an unsuspecting swimmer or fish triggers these cells to fire simultaneously, injecting a massive dose of venom. The pain is described as instantaneous and excruciating, an all-consuming agony that can send a victim into shock and cause them to drown even before the full effects of the venom take hold. The venom itself is a complex concoction of toxins that attacks the heart, the nervous system, and the skin cells all at once. It can cause cardiac arrest within minutes, making a sting from a large box jellyfish a dire medical emergency, with a frighteningly high mortality rate, if not treated immediately. These creatures are not aggressive. They do not hunt humans. They simply drift, silent and almost invisible, a beautiful but deadly minefield in the tranquil coastal waters, a stark reminder that in nature, the most exquisite forms can conceal the most terrible dangers. Our next creature is perhaps the most unassuming on our list. It is found not in the vast ocean or the dense jungle, but in the calm, fresh waters of rivers, lakes, and ponds across Africa, Asia, and South America. It is the simple freshwater snail, a slow-moving mollusk that spends its days grazing on algae. It possesses no venom, no teeth, no claws. It poses no direct physical threat whatsoever. And yet, this humble creature is a crucial link in the life cycle of a parasite that infects over 200 million people worldwide. The snail acts as an intermediate host for the blood fluke, a parasitic flatworm that causes the disease schistosomiasis, also known as bilharzia. The worm's eggs are released into the water from the waste of infected humans. These eggs hatch, and the larvae seek out and infect specific species of freshwater snails. Inside the snail, the larvae multiply and develop, transforming into a new, free-swimming stage. These transformed larvae are then released back into the water by the thousands. When people wade, bathe, or wash in this contaminated water, the microscopic larvae penetrate their skin. They travel through the bloodstream to the liver and intestines, where they mature into adult worms. The worms can live for years, producing thousands of eggs that cause a chronic, debilitating inflammatory reaction. This leads to severe organ damage, pain, and developmental problems, and is responsible for tens of thousands of deaths annually. The quiet, unobtrusive snail, therefore, becomes an unwitting accomplice in a vast and silent epidemic. We return to the air, this time over the vast savannas and woodlands of sub-Saharan Africa. Here flies an insect that looks much like a common housefly, but is larger and more robust. This is the tsetse fly. Like the mosquito, it is a blood feeder equipped with a formidable proboscis designed to pierce the thick hides of animals. And like the mosquito, its true danger lies not in its bite, but in the microscopic passenger it can transmit, a protozoan parasite called a trypanosome. When an infected tsetse fly bites a human, it can inject these parasites into the bloodstream, causing a disease known as African trypanosomiasis, or more commonly, sleeping sickness. The initial symptoms are often mild: fever, headaches, and joint pain. But as the parasites multiply, they cross the blood-brain barrier and begin to invade the central nervous system. This is when the disease reveals its terrifying nature, leading to confusion, personality changes, and severe disruption of the sleep cycle, which gives the illness its name. Without treatment, the neurological damage becomes progressively worse. The victim experiences daytime slumber and nighttime insomnia, eventually lapsing into a semi-comatose state before succumbing to the disease. It is a slow, cruel, and invariably fatal progression. While massive eradication efforts have greatly reduced the number of cases, the tsetse fly remains a significant threat in many rural communities, its bite a potential death sentence, turning this otherwise ordinary-looking fly into a feared agent of disease and neurological decay across a continent. For our final animal, we venture deep into the humid rainforests on the Pacific coast of Colombia. Here, amidst the damp leaf litter of the forest floor, lives a creature of breathtaking beauty. It is the golden poison dart frog, an amphibian so vibrant it almost seems to glow. Its brilliant yellow skin serves not as camouflage but as a stark and unambiguous warning to any potential predator. This is nature's way of saying do not touch, and for very good reason. This tiny frog, barely the size of a paperclip, is arguably the most poisonous animal on Earth. The frog's skin is coated in a powerful alkaloid toxin, a batrachotoxin, which it acquires and sequesters from its diet of specific insects. This is not a venom that needs to be injected. The poison is potent enough to be absorbed through a simple cut or even mucous membranes. The toxin is a neurotoxin that prevents nerves from transmitting impulses, leaving muscles in an inactive state of contraction. This can lead to heart failure or fibrillation almost immediately. The frog itself is, of course, completely immune to its own deadly defense. The sheer potency of this poison is staggering. A single golden poison dart frog, weighing less than an ounce, is estimated to harbor enough toxin in its skin to kill 10 grown men. Indigenous peoples of the region have for centuries carefully collected this poison by brushing the frog with their blowgun darts without harming the animal, turning this tiny amphibian's defense into a lethal hunting tool. It is a vivid illustration of how, in the natural world, the most dazzling beauty can be inextricably linked to the most extreme and absolute danger. Surprised by the list? Sometimes the most dangerous creatures are the ones you'd never expect. We have journeyed from the familiar whine of the mosquito, to the spectral drift of the box jellyfish, from the slow crawl of a snail to the dazzling, deadly skin of a tiny frog. We've seen that true danger in nature is not always a matter of size, strength, or aggression. It is often a game of chemistry and biology, of parasites and pathogens, of tiny organisms wielding immense power over creatures thousands of times their size, including ourselves. These animals are not evil or malicious, they are simply living as they have evolved to live, occupying their unique niche in the intricate web of life. Their deadly attributes are tools for survival, for defense, for procreation. It is simply our misfortune that our own biology makes us vulnerable to their methods. Understanding these hidden dangers is not about fostering fear, but about cultivating a deeper and more realistic respect for the natural world in all its complexity. It's a reminder that even the smallest of creatures plays a significant role and can have a profound impact. The world is filled with wonders, but it is also filled with perils, many of which are hidden in plain sight. By learning about them, we can better protect ourselves and appreciate the delicate balance that governs all life on this planet. Thank you for joining me on this exploration of the unexpected. Stay curious and stay safe.